Hello everyone and welcome to Herald's Rest. I'm Lucas and with me is Jaime.
Hey. Hi.
Who still doesn't know.
Yeah. Okay, well, the theme of this episode, I'm just gonna say, fuck. How's that? That's my Geralt.
Huh.
My Geralt saying fuck. Fuck.
I guess, yeah. Well, I guess we should say Happy New Year's first.
Yeah.
Because, it's the new year and everything.
Happy 2020.
New decade.
It already sucks.
Yeah, we're on day 4 and, World War 3 and Australia burning down.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other shit.
Good times.
Yeah. But my birthday's soon, so that's cool, I guess.
Maybe it's related.
Oh, God.
So, in tradition with the podcast, what are you drinking right now?
Water and vodka. Not together, but separately. When I need them. Thank you.
So mostly vodka.
Maybe. I did actually have a few sips before, 10 minutes before we were supposed to start recording. And then I was like, oh, well, this tastes nice. So I'm just going to have a few more sips. And then you're like, hey, let's postpone it for a few minutes. And I was like, okay. So.
It's like, whatever, more vodka.
We'll see what happens. What are you drinking?
Water. There might actually be a podcast episode one day where I have something else, but...
Yeah. The live episode,
sure
I'm going to, spike your drink. And you'll be like, it's water. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's vodka.
Mm-hmm. Straight vodka. Just like the fancy kind that tastes like nothing, which I have never experienced. I've had ones that they say taste like nothing, and I'm like, no, it still tastes gross. It tastes worse than the cheap shit, so I'm just gonna stick with the cheap shit.
Isn't the taste of vodka somewhere between poisonous and antiseptic?
Well, I'll take a sip and I'll tell you. Hold on. I mean, it burns, but it's...
So antiseptic.
Yeah, I guess, but it's almost... The kind I get is almost sweet. Kind of, but it shouldn't be. I don't think that might just be my taste buds dying.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah. What do we Fossil's Kitchen Corner? What's been going on in your kitchen?
Well, since the last podcast is a while ago, there was Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of I made a lot of yeast buns. Is that what the yeast bun? Yeah, let's go with the yeast buns, whatever. Yeah, there was a lot of yeast buns and there was some apple strudel, whatever. Is that an English word for that?
Strudel. It's not English, I guess, but that's what we call it. Unless there's another word I don't know, but I know it as apple strudel.
No. Yeah, made some of that.
I did that once.
How did that go?
It was fine. It was right after Inglourious Bastards came out, and there's that scene where they're eating apple strudel with fresh whipped cream, and I was like, I want to do that. So I did. And it was actually really good. So I've never done it again, and it looked ugly, but it tasted good. So I even whipped my own cream.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. It's when I had a real kitchen at my mom's house, so different times.
And now you live in the woods.
Now I live in the woods, and if I want a proper cooking equipment, I have to buy it myself, and my mom already had everything cool. Now I'm like, well,
yeah,
it's money I don't want to spend because I'm not going to use it.
Other than that, I had lots of meat.
Ew, cool.
Yep, I thought you would say that.
Mm-hmm. I'm very predictable.
So how was your Christmas spent?
We opened all... nobody in my family does Christmas, so it was just me and the boyfriend and the cat. And we opened all our presents the night before Christmas, and then he hung out for a couple hours in the morning, and then he left me alone with the cat, and then I just played Red Dead Redemption 2 all day. So that was my Christmas. But I have been cooking more because I had to, because I'm out of easy food, so I've had to put things together because I didn't want to go grocery shopping. For a couple weeks.
Damn.
Yeah, so I made a chili, which I sent you pictures of, I think, and other stuff. Made a baked potato at one point.
Did you?
I think I did. I don't know. Made a couple of vegetable weird shit.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of one of those, yeah.
I remember getting a compliment on my chili and that it actually looked like chili, so I'm pretty sure I sent both.
Yeah, true, you did send me that one. Yeah. Don't Americans, like, because you said you open your Christmas presents a day early, don't Americans celebrate on the 25th?
Yeah.
Like, you open the presents on the 25th?
Yeah. I'm sure everybody's different, but yeah, the boyfriend is always like, oh, you want to open one now? Like, several days before. And I'm like, no, you're going to ruin Christmas. This is all we have. And, yeah, so we opened one, like, a day before the other ones we opened, and then we opened the rest.
I never understood why you do it on the 25th, because, like, here, like, even when I was a child, we always opened the presents on the 24th.
But Santa's supposed to deliver them on that night, so they shouldn't even be there.
Oops. I don't know.
Is Santa Claus not as, like, of a big deal in other places?
Not really.
Okay,
no.
that makes sense.
I mean, people like, if they have children, people are like, oh yeah, Santa's coming and everything, but there are no mall Santas or anything like that.
Okay. I mean, I never personally believed in Santa Claus, but I feel like that kind of ruins it if he's supposed to come the one night and then you open it the night before he comes, like, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Spoiler alert. Damn.
Like, oh, spoilers, your presents come from Chinese children.
Oh, fuck. They're elves. Yeah. How was your New Year's? Did you do
Pretty chill.
Yeah.
Spent it with, like, my girlfriend and I were invited by a couple of friends, and we spent it at their place eating and chatting.
Yeah.
And then watching the dogs panic.
I might cut this out, but I was invited to go to a porn star's mansion. And my boyfriend's like, do you want to go? And I was like, not really. We did that once before. I think they're ex-porn stars now. But now it's a life memory. I get to say I partied with porn stars on New Year's once. And I don't have to ever do it again. So.
Okay then.
Yeah. Look.
That's something.
Anyway, that's probably all going to get
full
cut.
circle.
Yeah.
But why? You don't want to talk about porn stars?
I just don't want them to know that I know, because I don't know if they know that I know. Well, actually, no, the husband definitely knows that I know.
Huh. But does he know that you have a podcast?
No, as far as I know.
It's a lot of knowing here.
Yeah, I know, I like it. What else? Yeah, no, I just stayed home on New Year's. And I did stay up late until like 1 a.m. and I was drinking, so I don't know. I'm sure it wasn't exciting. I think I did talk about like deep dark sadnesses and fears, like you should, on New Year's, and how things have changed. Yeah,
It went dark.
well, you know, I'm dark.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, I've experienced drunk Jamie as well. So.
You've experienced like sick, sad, and alone Jamie, who's like, I can't stop crying.
No, I was about to say.
Yeah. So yeah, sad Jamie. Yeah, she comes up sometimes.
But to get to the main topic of the podcasts, the Witcher series.
Yeah.
That was released just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Which we along with, probably half of the world by now, just ate up.
I'm like really happy because my best friend was actually, so I saw my best friend in between Christmas and New Year's, so I probably shouldn't talk about that. But she was in town, she lives in Hawaii, and she came to town to celebrate Christmas with her family. And she had even heard of it, which, I mean, it's Netflix, so that makes sense. And they're like, well, we kind of want to watch it. And she's like, how good is it? I was like, it's really good. It's better than Game of Thrones, in my opinion, but like, I was also like, but I also named my cat after a character in The Witcher, so maybe you shouldn't trust my judgment. I don't know, but it's really good. You should watch it. And I don't know, I think it's exciting that people who don't play the games or haven't ever even heard of them are like, oh, cool. I think that's cool.
Yeah, definitely, because even my mom and dad were like, huh, that looks interesting.
Yeah. It's a lot of boobs in it.
Like, Yeah, it was I mean, they watch Game of Thrones too, so
Yeah,
they're
okay,
used to
okay.
boobs.
I'm sure they're used to boobs already, but yeah.
Probably.
Mhm.
But like they were like, oh yeah, that looks interesting, and then my dad was like, I heard that if you didn't play the games, you don't really understand. And I was like, nah, it's based on the books. You're just gonna be very confused because of time jumps.
Yeah, I didn't read the first of the short story book, the first one of those two, but I did read The Child of Destiny, or whatever the fuck it's called, Sword of Destiny. Is that what it is? Anyway, I read that one because I was like, oh, that's when Siri shows up, and I love Siri, so I read that one and then went forward. So even I was kind of confused, and I was like extra like, oh, if you'd never like consumed any Witcher media, you're probably like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't know. Which I think is cool that they didn't like spoon feed anything really. They were like, well, figure it out, which is nice and refreshing.
Yeah. But also, should we give a spoiler warning before we go deeper into it? Or do you think everyone watched it by now?
Spoiler. I mean, I feel like spoiler warning if you care about spoilers. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair warning given, everything done.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the time jumps. I watched through the entire series in I think 2 days, and like during some episodes I was like watching, everything happened, and I was like, wait, is it like, for example, that Queen of Sintra, I think it was, there was a scene
where
in
she
the
shows back up
third
after
or
she's like
fourth episode
dying.
or whatnot. She shows back up. I was like, isn't she dead? Did I forget that character? What is happening?
Yeah. She was badass, by the way. I just want to throw that in there while we're talking about her.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, we can hang.
Like in episode 3, where that is it Dooney? I think it's Dooney, the cursed knight.
Hedgehog.
There
what's his
shows up, and Geralt.
what's his real name? I can't remember right now. Even though Emir.
Emir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Like Geralt and him slaughter like half the royal court.
Yeah.
And then that girl is like kind of destroying half the palace, and it's like, wait, is that Siri?
It looks so much like her.
Who's that?
Like, I thought it was the same actress.
Yes.
I was like telling my boyfriend. I don't like to give his name, so I always call him my boyfriend. But I was like, that's her. That's totally her. Look, they look exactly alike. She looks a little bit like slightly older, kind of, but like that looks like her. Pretty sure, but it's not. It's just really cool that they found someone.
Yeah, I thought it was like a couple years after the scene where you first see her, and then it was like, oh, it's her mother. What?
Yeah.
Eh?
Like, I wonder if they're actually related, or if they were just like super lucky when they were casting, or if it's like digital shit that they did. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know, maybe, but they picked a good actress for both cases, like both roles.
That's my first note. Is just Siri's daughter. I love Siri, because literally Siri is my cat, and then also every Siri is my daughter. Love. I love. Okay, have you listened to the audiobooks at all for the Witcher books?
No, not really.
Okay, well the guy who does, the voices is really good, and like little Siri has like a little Scottish accent, or it might be Irish. I think it's Scottish, but she's like, "You're my destiny," and it's so cute. So cute. I love her so much. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that.
Should we go through it like episode based, like talk about first, second,
you can,
and so
and
on?
you might have more detailed notes than I do with that. So I'll comment as you go through them, because I couldn't break it up by episode, I don't think.
Okay. I started watching it, and the first scene with that deer, and then Geralt jumps out of the water and everything.
The deer made me sad.
Yeah, I was also like, was that necessary? Like, I get that it's The Witcher.
I paused it because I was like sneaking a peek before I had to watch it later. Like, I was being bad and trying to watch part of it without the boy. And then I saw that and I was like, oh, poor dear. Fuck. Now I'm sad. Start my day sad. Cute. Okay. But I was like impressed by like the music, even just at the very start. The music is really good. It does feel like the game music, but like not exactly the same, which is nice. Like it had this same like feeling to it.
Yeah, it had the same like Slavic undertones, but I was kind of missing the le 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 from the games.
Yeah.
But the scene goes on, and then you get that sorcerer. That's scene with the sorcerer and lots of boobs.
Yeah, more boobs.
Like right off the bat, it's like here tits. Have fun.
Let me pick my fruit off this tree with my tits out. It's fine.
Yes, as one does.
Well, you would if you had an orchard. Nobody was around. I mean, there were people around, but they were fake, right? They were just a simulation.
I mean, I would also pick fruits of my orchard, but the problem is I don't have tits. So
well, there's your problem.
But then like the sorcerer comes out, and I can't remember his name.
I watched
What's the actor called?
I watched an edit of that whole scene where it's like if it was the game and it has like all the health bar and everything, and then it's like skip. So every conversation was like, what? And it was funny. And it has all the music like that song,
Lars Mikkelsen, yeah, that's the one. And he comes into the scene and is like, I didn't know he was in that. And then I wondered if Mads Mikkelsen was in there too somewhere.
Oh, are they related?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Oh.
And then it goes on, and then they show Renfrey. And like short note on Renfrey, I think the actress should have played Triss.
Ooh. Maybe. Because Triss wasn't very memorable at all for me in this. And I was like, oh. But, I mean, she didn't have much, I guess, so we'll see.
I don't think anything really remarkable happens in the first episode, other than the ending.
Yeah. I rewatched the first episode actually yesterday, yeah. And I was just like, oh, yeah, damn it. So good. It's like, and it's violent, but it feels good. Like, sometimes violence is just like, ooh, I don't want to see that. But then it was like, nope, yeah, stab that guy in the head and then slice through his skull. That's hot. Cool, do it. Fuck yeah. Damn.
I was also like, it was kind of a bit, building up to everything, and then I was like, is that gonna be a combat? Is that gonna be a combat scene? And then he just goes there and like slices his head through. And it's like, oh yes, oh boy.
Well, the whole time you're in Blaviken, you're like, butcher a Blaviken, like, something's gonna happen.
Yes, exactly. And he just goes on because it was a complete one take shot, and it was so good.
Yeah, that's when I was like in my chair, like cheering, like putting my arms in the air all crazy, like I was at a freaking sports thing. It's just like, yeah. I don't know.
Then they're not finished. Then comes Renfrey and another combat scene.
Yeah. I don't really understand the Curse of the Black Sun or whatever as much as I probably should. Is it actually a curse, or is it just people think they're cursed so they fight and kill because they don't want to get fought and killed?
It's actually like people just believe it's a curse, but because people believe in it so heavily, the people that are actually affected, quote unquote, by it tend to act like it.
That sucks.
I don't know, did you play... You probably did. Did you play Blood and Wine?
Yes. Oh yeah, because what's her face?
Yeah, like Sienna.
Yeah.
She was also a child of Curse of the Black Sun.
I hated her.
Why?
She pissed me off. I don't know. I was just like, you seem like a bitch. I don't like your vibe. And also, the boyfriend was walking me through it because he'd already played it like 3 times when I did Blood and Wine, and he made me get the red ribbon. And then I was pissed because she didn't die. I was like, what the hell? Now I have to load back my save because I wanted to, like, give her to Dettlaff. I was like, nope, fuck her. Like, nope. So I loaded back the save, replayed all through the fairy tale stuff, and then I was like, nope, not saving you. Bye.
Die.
Yeah. I did not like her at all. And then now when I play it, I'm just like I won't even do the sex scene, because also that feels really messed up to have sex with her and then let her die. So I'm like, no.
Yeah, good point.
I'm in love with Yennefer, actually, so I don't have relations with other women, so boo. Anyway.
Okay, speaking of Yen, the second episode comes around, and the episode starts and everything, and then you see like that hunchback for the first time. Was like, wait, who's that?
It's Yennefer.
Like I had a vague memory of Yen being a hunchback, But I didn't think they would show her actual backstory.
Oh yeah, they had it in the trailer, so I was like, hell yeah! And then when she showed up, I was like, yeah, it's my girl.
I didn't actually watch a single trailer for that series, so.
Oh wow.
But yeah, like she came around and then she was bought by that head rectress, whatever, and I felt bad for her. Yeah, like for being sold for like 4 gold pieces. Like my god.
Well, it was like less than the pig, right? Like she asked for how much the pigs were first, and then the Yennefer was less than. That sucks. That sucks.
Yes.
Like damn. But at least the mom was upset about it, so that's something.
Yeah, true. And then it just goes on with the kind of establishing magic and everything. But like what I don't know how to feel about it when they progress with the love story, and then I think it was in the 2nd or 3rd episode where they showed that very in-depth sex scene with a hunchback.
Oh, and is his
And
name
it just said he was like,
or something?
is that necessary?
She still looked hot. She just had a hunchback. Her body was still popping,
Yeah, but it's like, is this necessary? Do you have to show this?
I think it's good because it shows that I don't know if he actually liked her that much. I remember him in one of the books and that they were still kind of something, but like, I think him being with her when she is like that probably helps her feel better, I think it's good.
Yeah, true.
Show it all. Give us the sex.
But did they have to show it all?
Did they have more than one? Or because they had like one weird scene where there's like a crowd around, but it was fake, right? Like,
yes,
for whatever reason.
She conjured that one up.
That's fun.
Yeah, totally fun.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. Okay, I guess.
Who doesn't want to have sex in front of a crowd that claps?
Yeah, well, I guess, Good job! You did great! Congratulations.
Yep.
You did it. Literally.
Yeah, like the 2nd episode establishes Yen and everything. But also the 2nd episode with Jaskier and Fusselkorn to your Witcher.
Yeah.
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 That's just the
Like-
review of the show. Yeah! Just because of that song.
Like,
Good.
my god. I don't think they could have gone for a catchier song.
Is the song in the books, is what I want to know. Or did they make that up? Because good on them if they made that whole thing up. 'Cause
I think they actually made that up.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's like literally everywhere. Everybody's been talking about it. Just random people who I've never seen talk about The Witcher before are like, toss a coin to your Witcher. Da, 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 da. It's like a whole thing.
Yep.
It's nice. It's a plague.
Okay, we go on to episode 3, which starts with that one Witcher going, like, that miner, I think it was, with the dead son, and I love how that other Witcher is just there, is like, yep, that's 1.5k up front. And then he dies. But, yeah, like, stuff goes on there, and he meets Triss, and
Yep.
then that kind of fight with the Striga, I think it was, kind of switching in between the fight with the Striga and Yen getting her transformation.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, that was great editing.
Yeah, she did so good with all her like really intense scenes. Yennefer, I think.
Yes.
I don't know how to pronounce her last name in real life. Or is it Anya or Anya?
I think it's Anya.
Well, anyway, she did really good. And like holy shit, like when she's like doing that scene and then later stuff, it's just damn.
Her acting and everything is good, but what did you think of her being cast for Yen?
I thought it was fine. I did see, like, her headshot. She looked really young. She looked like 18 or younger in her headshots that they shared when they first cast them. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's interesting. But then I did like, look up stuff she had done. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think she'll be fine. Like, just on YouTube, like, clips of things and plays. And she seemed really good, so I wasn't scared. I was scared about Henry Cavill more than her.
Yeah, good point. Her acting was her acting is good. Don't get me wrong, but I think her appearance is a bit too young and too fragile for Yen.
But then you see her being all crazy powerful, and you're like, oh, not fragile at all. Okay. Like, because sorceresses are supposed to be very young looking. Yeah.
Yes, true, but they're not supposed to look like 18.
But they're like unaging, and I don't think she looks 18. I think she looks early to mid 20s once she's like transformed and like in all her makeup and her clothes. I think she looks mature enough. Like she's still young, but I think that's kind of part of it. But I do love video game Yen also.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see more stuff. And also she's going to start looking older because that's how time works.
Yeah, hopefully. A little bit at least.
Yeah. Well, that's another good reason to cast somebody younger who's supposed to be somebody who doesn't really age anymore. Is that, at least it'll be slower. It's not going to be like, oh, we casted a 30-year-old and we got 6 seasons and by the end of it she's like, I don't know.
50.
Well, I don't think that's how time works either.
Then episode 4. I mean, nothing that major happens, I think.
What episode?
I mean, there is that scene with 4.
What's the one where Geralt is covered in all the yuck and people are like, he died, and Yasgir's like, he's fine. What's that one? This one or the next one?
Yeah, it's actually 4.
Okay,
yeah,
good,
true.
good,
I forgot
okay.
about that scene.
Because I think they sing Toss a Coin in that one too, but just in like in the bar, pub, place, whatever, tavern.
Yeah,
but
they
it's
do.
not as good because other people are singing it, and they ain't good.
But then that banquet happens where that sorcerer comes up to him. He's like, "Why are you dressed like a poor silk trader?"
Yeah.
And he just gives that hateful and judgmental look to Yaskier.
By the way,
like, I hate you
is
so
that...
much.
I was watching a video earlier. Is that supposed to be... I don't fucking remember names right now, but in The Witcher 3, is that the druid guy? Is that the same guy?
No.
Okay, because the person I was watching on YouTube made it sound like they were, and I was confused. From Skellige.
Or wait, is it? No, it
I don't
actually
know.
is. Yeah,
Oh,
Mouse
see, what the hell?
also known as Ermion.
Spoilers, but they fucking killed him. Damn.
Huh.
Yeah, like...
Well, that's...
confusing.
Huh.
But I mean, the video games aren't
Okay.
canon, so it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah, good point.
But I don't think he dies in the books. I don't think they would have had him there if he had died in the books.
No, he doesn't die in
Yeah.
the books.
That's a bummer. But that's okay, I guess. I mean, I liked him.
I actually didn't remember that.
Yeah, I
he
didn't put it
was-
together either until I watched that video, and then I was really confused.
Yeah, the banquet happens, and then that awesome fight scene where they kill half the royal court, and then all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden they just stand up again.
That's the child surprise scene, too, at the end.
Yeah, where he's like, oh yes, I invoked the law of surprise as well, and then she pukes, and he's
Yeah.
like, fuck.
Yeah, I love all the
He just
fucks.
walks
All
out.
the just fuck.
Yes.
So good.
Because he has such a wide range of emotions especially for the fucks, but also the
Yeah. And he's not the best part of the show, I don't think. So when he has moments there where I'm like, oh yeah, no, I like it. It's just like really memorable when he's just like, fuck. I mean, he's really good fighting, but when he talks, I'm always like, yeah, you sound like Batman. But I did feel like that when I was playing the game originally too, so it works.
I think Cavill did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cavill went with the voice actor for the games because like the first scenes where he talked, I was literally thinking, like, did they dub over his lines?
Yeah. You know what? My one complaint that I can think of right now is Ciri and Geralt's contacts suck. They look like they don't fit their eyes. Like they just look like they bulge.
Yeah.
When Yennefer's eyes are purple, it's like, oh, that looks good. Like that looks fine. That doesn't look crazy to me, but the other two kind of looked crazy.
I mean, for Geralt, it's kind of supposed to look like that.
Yeah.
They're supposed to look like mutant eyes. Yeah, on Reddit I saw like a couple people kind of complain that they didn't include the cat eyes, and I was like, that's not
Yeah.
part of the books though.
Yeah, that's just the games.
They don't look like that all the time. As like for Siri, I don't know. I actually didn't mind that much.
Yeah, it just looked like they hurt.
They look kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if she closes her eyes, you can see kind of where it pokes out a little bit, and I was like, ow.
Yeah.
Painful. You know, that's how I watch television. Is everybody comfortable? You need a drink? Are you okay?
Oh God. Let's move on to episode 5, which is by far my favorite, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it starts off with Geralt fishing for the djinn, and then Jaskier like having a nervous breakdown because Geralt insulted his singing.
Yeah. He's like, you need a nap. So nice. Such a good. I love Jaskier so much. He's definitely my favorite.
Then it goes on to him like going to the mayor's house where the mayor's just naked, and he looks at him and is like, whoa.
Oh fuck. Yeah, and then more naked orgies and things. You know how you do. Yennefer's a bit of a freak, I guess. Is what we're getting from this show.
Kinda. Yeah, kinda.
She's like, I just want to put. And also, by the way, very rapey. They were under a spell doing all the stuff they were doing. Just saying, Yennefer, what the hell? Not a good look. It's 2020. Come on. Like, damn.
But the way they introduced the scene was also very well done. It's like, first of all, the scene with the mayor where Geralt is looking is like, what is happening? Yeah. And then he walks through the door, he's like, the fuck?
Also, apple juice.
Yes.
Yennefer wants apple juice.
Like, the fact that he just took it with him is like, I brought you apple juice.
Yeah.
And then like it goes on, and in the end where Jaskier is like having another nervous breakdown, he's like, he always said I had the nicest singing voice, and then it comes back, it's like, they're still alive.
It's like, alright.
He just looks up like, bollocks.
Yeah, and then they look at him through the window as they're fucking. So funny.
but he's standing there, it's like, oh, they're alive. My God, they're alive. Yeah. Whoa. We move on to episode 6, which is a good episode, but I think the dragon ruined it for me because the dragon
was ugly as shit. Yeah, okay, that's one of my notes. Is just that the dragon was ugly. I was like, oh, I know it's not Game of Thrones or fucking even like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, like, but come on, like just the style of it was ugly. It was just an ugly dragon. Could have been born that way.
I like the actor.
Yeah.
He played the role very well, but like, my God, the CGI looked horrible.
I don't even know if it was the CGI though. That's what I mean. I feel like it was just the design of the dragon was unattractive. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, that too. But speaking of the CGI, when like that scene with Jaskier when he's in the bushes and that one, I can't remember what it's called, but one thingy like comes up, and the knight just hacks it to pieces.
Yeah.
I was just standing like, why did you do that? It looked cute.
Yeah. But then he dies, right? The knight?
Yes, he gets diarrhea and then gets killed while shitting.
Which is, the best way to go. Just kidding.
He deserved it, though.
Yeah, he sucked. Also, at the beginning of the episode, when Geralt's like, I won't do it, I'm not going to fight a dragon, then Yennefer walks in and he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
He's like, oh, never mind, I'll kill everything.
Yep, whatever it takes. Let's talk about the sweet moments between Yennefer and Geralt before it went to shit again. Just when they're together, she's like, I wanted to be important, and he's like, you're important to me, and then they're all sweet and cuddly. That's all. I just wanted to bring that into the conversation because that's sweet.
Oh, yeah.
The sex scene before wasn't very sweet. It was just,
yes.
Guess we're doing it. Not much.
Just like, might as well.
Yeah.
Episode 7. What happened in episode 7?
I'm looking at the episode description. With the continent at risk from Nilfgaard's rising power, Yennefer revisits her past while Geralt reconsiders his obligation to the law of surprise. That doesn't really tell you much of anything.
I remember that scene in episode 7 where Yen goes to Nilfgaard, I think it was, and she meets Vilgefortz for the first time. Like, the first time I watched that scene, and she was like, he came in and he was talking to her and everything. I was like, is that him? Is that supposed to be him? Who's that? And then he said his name, is like, my god, that's him.
I was trying... Is he in the games at all? In the third game anyway, because I haven't beat the other two. Or does he die?
No, he's not in the games.
Okay. Because I knew the name, but I was like, why do I know it? We also got to see Triss and Yennefer together. I don't know if it's the first time, but I'm just like holding my mouse over the thing to see and get reminded of it, and I just saw them together.
Yeah, true. They go to Aretusa.
Yeah.
And then like they're kind of like, oh, what's going on, that and that. And I think it was in the 8th episode where Triss is like, oh yeah, I met a Witcher, like Geralt of Rivia, and Jenny's like, oh yes, I fucking know him. It's like, oh, that bastard.
Oh, and then I guess Geralt, this is when he's in Sintra and all the shit's going down, and we see that he was actually there for the first time.
Yeah, true. Where like more confusing time jumps.
Yeah.
And yeah, then episode 8, where I think it starts with him getting bitten by ghouls.
I'm gonna check right now.
And he just kind of falls over as like a fitting end.
Also, this episode has the thing where all the little I don't know what you even call them, the little icons for the title screen come together and make the final like Witcher thing with like Geralt's thing and Ciri's thing and Yen's thing, which is really cool.
Yes.
And when that happened, I was like, hell yeah, cool, big old war.
Yeah,
Big old
like
war.
exactly, big old war, and then Yen kind of setting a hill on fire.
It was hot.
And the big scene finally. That scene when Ciri leaves the house and just walks into the forest, and then like 20 seconds later you see that cart arriving. I was like, fuck, they can't miss each other. But no, they gave us the scene, and then ended on the worst possible like note. It's like, who's Yennefer? Boom,
You didn't like that? Because that shows that she was like hearing his dreams and stuff. So
no,
it's like,
it's fine,
yeah.
but I was like, give me more. I want the second season right now.
Well, it's a good thing they already renewed it before the show even like started to air.
Exactly.
I was just gonna say I hate how Netflix usually does renew for a second season and then cancels. So I hope they don't do that this time. I hope they fucking keep going.
But yeah, like overall, very very good video game or video video game.
Yeah.
Very good game.
Yeah.
Very good adaptation, I think.
Yeah, I think I almost want to say that I feel like I don't even think it could have been better, because I feel like with the story they're trying to tell, at least with all the timelines, like I feel like I don't know how they could have made it better. So I think like it was probably the most close to perfect you could get for this, which might be a silly thing to say, but I think it was really good, and I think it was really exciting, and it was like what it needed to be, you know?
Yeah. Don't agree with all of the lore changes they made, like for example killing Ermion.
Yeah, that sucks.
But in terms of setting and music and the overall look of the series, they nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm excited for them to probably have a bigger budget next season, so like, I don't know, some of the costumes. I hope Geralt gets a new outfit. I think they gave all their budget for clothes to Yennefer.
Probably.
Which, you know, fair enough. Okay.
But like before we, kind of finish up talking about the series and everything, do you think that the Dragon Age series is first of all possible and second doable?
I have ideas. I don't think shut up. I think it'd be really hard to do like Origins or Inquisition, but I think if you were doing it based on any one of the games, you'd have to do it on Dragon Age 2, just because Hawk is already basically who they are. They just have to decide on a gender, and you could have a multi-season arc because it takes place over 7 years? So you got your whole fucking thing right there. I don't know if it'd be interesting or good, but that's one way you could do it. Here's my other idea. Not the games at all, just something in the lore. So my personal favorite would be doing Solus's rebellion and following that, but then we'd have to know anything at all really about it, and we don't. So I don't think they would like ever, unless the games were over, it's like 20 years from now and they're like, okay, we're done with Dragon Age, here's all the secrets, you can make a TV show. But I still don't know if it would be good.
Yeah, I don't think they would like give out the secrets all at once. Like, oh yeah, here, have fun.
Yeah.
What? But I also don't think that the games would make very good TV shows or movies.
Yeah, because the whole point is that you get to choose. You have so much agency.
Exactly.
And you'd have to be like, okay, this is not canon, but it's some kind of canon. It's going to piss people off.
If they want to make like a series or whatnot, kind of based on the games, I think they'd have to do it sort of in, like, for example, let's stay with Dragon Age 2.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have to do it in between the years that you don't see, for example. You know, like the time between becoming champion, no, the time between being the noble and becoming champion. Like those years in between, just fill that with stuff they do.
Yeah. Well, I think you could still, I mean, people would get mad about choices, like when it's a choice that you can do something or not do something. I think they would get mad if you had a show where they made you do the thing that you think is wrong. But
yeah.
I think you could still do it. You just have to know that people are going to be mad no matter what you do. And also, you, like, again, deciding, like, the gender of Hawk and who they romance, if they romance anybody at all. But honestly, if you're making a TV show, they could just fuck everybody and it's fine. Give one love interest a season.
But if they want to, you know, make a series where they piss off the least amount of people, then just base it on the books. Because you can't do anything wrong there.
Yeah. It would just be like, okay, so what, one book is a season and then you suddenly you're fucking with Empress Celine and Briala? Like, that'd be weird. Maybe, okay, if they, well, it's not even all happening at the same time, so if you wanted to, like, have, like, no, it's just a different character side thing happening at the same time as the other thing, but it's not, so it'd be all confusing, and then, like, it'd be weird. I don't know.
But in terms of the books, they couldn't have it be done at the same time. It would have to be seasons, because the books have different timelines and everything.
Mm-hmm. So you'd have, like Logain and Merrick in the first, and then part of, like, the calling is, it's still following Merrick, but...
Yes.
And then all of a sudden you're somewhere else with random people you don't know.
Yeah, you're kind of Merrick and Logain chatting about, you know, their rebellion and everything, and then the next scene is somewhere in Orlais with Empress Celine talking to Brianna, and he's like, who's that? And then the next scene, you see Merrick as king in the deep roads, and he's like, what's happening?
Yeah, why are you there? But also, you could do it where you still just follow the history, even if it's not in the book. So whatever the fuck Merrick's doing at the point, I think he's dead. Well, he's the comics. He's not. I actually don't know the timeline for the comics, so he might be dead already, or he might be missing and also chained up in that weird thing. But you could. Or, okay, so they could combine the books with the comics and with the games and not follow whoever the fuck the champion or the warden or the inquisitor are, and just make a story out of all the other characters, and then they never really name the player person for any of the things. They could do that.
Yeah. Like, if they made it in, you know, season, like one season per book, I think my favorite season would be Last Flight. It's like
I haven't read that one yet.
My favorite. Oh, you should.
Okay,
you should.
I've heard conflicting reports on it.
I mean, if you like Grey Wardens, you're gonna like that one.
I don't like Grey Wardens. That's why I haven't finished The Calling either, because I'm like, these motherfuckers again.
Then you're wrong.
Maybe. I don't like cults. It feels like a cult to me. I don't like it. It makes me go, eek. No thanks.
I mean, technically.
But I'd be like, yo, you didn't tell me this. And they'd be like, yeah, we don't have to, but now you can't escape. And I'd be like, fucking, like, hell I can't. Like, and then I'd die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cult.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah, that's why I'm like, oh, I want a Dragon Age tattoo one day. What could I get? And then I look at what other people get, and I'm like, definitely not getting a Grey Warden logo. Like, what? No. I'm sorry. I get why people can like it, but I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Even the Inquisition, I'm like, I don't know. That's why you disband at the end if you want, but I do. I don't think we've ever discussed between each other what our canon Dragon Age choices are.
That could be a topic for next episode.
Maybe.
I mean,
Or we actually
well.
write a script for the Dragon Age TV show and we pitch it. Like, hey.
Oh, like pitch our series against each other.
Well, I meant we come up with it together and we write it and then we pitch it to whoever makes TV shows and also is in charge of Dragon Age rights. And we say, hey, we have $2
like...
between us. We will make the show.
It's like, hey, Netflix, you want some money? Oh, is there anything else we can discuss? Or
Well, you had mentioned that you also wanted to talk about what our best, I don't remember if you said best game of our year or decade.
Best game of the decade.
Okay. Yeah, I've got mine.
You want to surprise everyone with your choice?
No, you go first. Mine's not surprising at all.
Because we all know what yours is. I think my game of the decade is Witcher 3, actually.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad I played it, but, mine is better.
Wow.
It is. No offense, but it is. So. Why is it? What? Do you have reasonings behind why you think it's the best game that you've played all decade?
Just the overworld building, the characters, the quests, music, combat, everything just fits together perfectly.
Huh. Okay.
And it's just a ton of fun to replay.
Yeah. How many times have you played The Witcher? All the way through.
I think I have around 600 hours in it.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Actually, that makes me want to pull up something with numbers. Hold on. Let's see how much time I've put into my game of the decade that I've had for 2 months.
Yeah, like I was about to say, do you want us to tell do you want to tell the people about why you're wrong for your choice?
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. First off, my game's newer and prettier, and the music is so good. It's going to take forever to connect. That's the thing about Rockstar Games Launcher. It takes a long time to load up, but I guess all launchers do. Let's see. So my game of the decade is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Surprise.
Yeah. I have not played it since December 29th, but as of right now, after having it for less than 2 months at that time, I am at 271 hours and 28 minutes. So, and I've been craving it. I've been oh, I really want to play it. I kind of want to start over, but I also kind of want to get 100% in it, and I'm closer than I've ever been. I'm at almost 90% completion of the full, everything. But I'm ooh, but I want to get back to the story and not just do challenges and stuff, because it's okay, but it's not as fun. And also, spoilers, I want to be Arthur again. Red Dead Redemption 2 is basically Black Sails, but cowboys and a video game. And The Witcher is good, but I don't, I was going to say I don't feel as connected to Geralt as I do to Arthur. I don't know if that's necessarily true. He grew on me a lot. But Arthur Morgan is a beautiful boy.
I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but it's it's cowboys.
I know, and I don't like cowboys, and that should tell you something. It reminds me of my father, and I don't like my father, so that should tell you something. Like it's good beyond that, and it's also you're not in the West. You're traveling east the whole time. There's you get to a city that's New Orleans, which is really cool. I've never been there.
It's good that you mentioned that even the characters in the game know that the West is shit.
Well, they have to leave because they're criminals and they're running from the law, and they know that their way of the world is ending because it's like 1899 and like all outlaw gangs are being eradicated, and it's basically black fucking sales. Which maybe that's why I like it so much. Like, that might be a whole big part of it, because it's like the fight against civilization and like, ooh, fight the power, and that's like kind of my jam. So that's not like The Witcher is like, oh, I'm neutral. I don't really care about politics, or I don't put myself into things, which like you do, but okay, Geralt, like you fucking do.
It's like, oh, I'm neutral, but then I kill a king.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like fighting for freedom, which is a very American thing, which I hate that I like that. But it's like, hey, we don't have to listen to the government and their man. We can make our own perfect world, which obviously is delusional, obviously. But it's a nice thought, and it makes me feel like, oh, I guess I get what, America was founded on in a way that I never really fucking got before, like, which this feels like I care about America, and I don't. But it's just like, okay, it's like the same way that Hamilton the musical, where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, fight the power, religious freedom, all this other stuff, like, don't let a king tell you what to do. But like, America basically started becoming the same kind of thing, and it's even way more like that now. So I don't know. Especially in this political climate, I'm like drawn to stories where they're like, hey, fuck this, you know? So it hits me.
My God, you do sound like you love America.
I don't. I fucking hate it here. I've always hated it. I hate American history. So that's another thing where I'm like, oh, this makes me actually want to like read books about cowboys, and I've never given a shit about Westerns of any kind before. So I was going to say, I even messaged my father on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I know you think video games are like the devil, but you should probably play this or at least watch a cutscene compilation, because I think you'd really enjoy it.
Damn.
Yeah.
That
He's
says
like,
a
yeah,
lot.
okay. Yeah. And I was like, okay,
He's
bye.
like,
Bye
who
forever.
Damn. So like on the note of depressing fatherhood, let's end it here, I guess.
Okay.
So yes, thank you everyone for listening, and have a great new year on this lovely, happy note. Before we end, do you want people to know where they can find you?
I'm at www.reddeadredemption2isthebestgameofthedecade.org.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And we're collecting donations to prove my point by buying a copy of Red Dead Redemption 2 for everyone on the planet.
She's wrong.
So anyway, you can find me on YouTube at Jaime Madd. I almost said my real name. Or Twitter at Madd Jaime. What about you?
You can find me at Twitter, which is Fusselkorn, and Instagram, which is Fussel Was Taken, and YouTube, which is also Fusselkorn, because, I'm creative.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Again, have a great new year. Don't talk about depressing fathers. And we will see you all on the next episode. So, goodbye.